WIIFTVPM. WIIFTVPM.
AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
WIIFTVPM.
WBGX Harvey, Chicago. AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people, 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 for the black people. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people. 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 for the black people, 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 for the black people.
Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta
attack.
get your heart rate up.
Okay, that not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business, as a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah?
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Well, every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work. All right.
You're cool.
I'm out. How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Are you ready for some authentic, delicious street tacos on the south side of Chicago? Stop by for the launch of Sissy's Taco Bar pop-up at 312 East 75th Street on Thursdays and Fridays, starting November 5th from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Experience their jerk chicken, sriracha shrimp, and blackened salmon tacos. And don't forget to ask about their Rome walking taco, Sissy street corn, and children's meal that comes with a special price. Visit sissytacobar.com for more information.
Your voice will be heard.
Your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union.
Change will happen.
And so all men of goodwill will go through the polls on November the 3rd. And I hope we will have a great day in our nation so that when we wake up on the 4th of November, we will know that America has made the right decision.
Mark your calendars for What's in It for the Black People Media special election night coverage. This is the nation's only culturally specific digital platform that respects the black community's diverse viewpoints. We're here for you. The only place to stay on top of 2020 election night coverage is on the Maze Jackson page on Facebook and Maze Jackson on YouTube. It all starts Tuesday night at 7.
You know who to vote for. I'm just asking you to vote.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' start. They ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve us. What's in it for the black people?
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore in the building because I don't know. Once back to I think Todd is on a secret mission for Donald Trump.
Should we call him?
We need to call and check on him, make sure he's okay. You know what I'm saying? Todd, if you're out there listening, I'm sure you're probably getting in your car now, talking to the cat.
You know, we stopped checking on Todd after the first week when he was late every day. He's like, oh, okay, he good.
You can tell Todd. You can tell Todd is used to the plane waiting on him. He went back to the days of being the president.
It's Monday.
It is Monday. You know
it's
what?
Election Monday.
It is Election Monday. I'm gonna tell you what. While I'm almost relieved. I will be glad when 8 o'clock. I have a whole new set of worries at 8 o'clock tomorrow. But I will be glad when it reaches 7 p.m. tomorrow here in Chicago. And then I'll be glad. I'll actually be glad when November 4th comes. Hopefully. Like I'll be preparing for something different. But I am ready for this thing to be over. Because I just feel like it's been one of the most divisive elections I've ever. The only thing I can't even imagine. I don't think this. This must be like the 70s when Richard Nixon was getting elected, and they were like between that Chicago 7. I think all of that stuff was just so timely because I think we're in times that are very similar to that. But I am not sure what is going to happen the day after the election. So it's going to be
the uncertainty that's kind of
right.
tough.
I feel like everybody is gearing up. Did you see the Texans rolling the buses off the streets? Like that was deep.
What happened?
Basically, there was a Joe Biden tour bus was wrapped. Like those wrap buses that got the whole big thing. It was a big old tour bus riding through Texas, and apparently a caravan of Texas pickup trucks with Trump flags tried to run them off of the expressway.
Let me just point out, like, the tactical training nature of the maneuvers that they were doing.
You know what? I'm
just saying that is some coordinated effort. We got CB radios talking to each other.
And CBs. Remember how we all got cell phones.
Exactly.
They got airwaves. I'm telling you, man, that was deep. That was deep.
Somebody got some tactical training, whether they've been watching military YouTube videos or we got some ex-military, ex-police. But the tactical training tactics of these white nationalist groups is a concerted effort. It is intentional.
And I think that we are shooting each other. We got. And I don't mean
bullets.
Well, go to Indiana.
I think I just heard the door open.
The door. What time is it? You know what? The people out on the plane tapping their foot. Black people. We got to worry about the black folks because they start acting funny. You know what I mean? They be like, "What's going on up there? What y'all doing?" All right, y'all. That looks like it's our co-host is in the building too. What's up, Todd? How you feeling, man? You made it.
I had to take my beret back to Oakland.
Revolution doesn't stop, brother. Todd.
I got in the car and it said 9 psi, and I was like, "No, I'm stopping. I gotta get some air in this."
You know what I hate when I know when it does that. Yeah. So, you know what? We gotta. It's funny that you mentioned that. I brought if you see outside, I got a tire air. You could blow up the air.
Oh, is that what that is? Yep. I looked at that thing 3 times. And I was like, "What?"
I thought that was a generator for the war.
No, it's a battery charger. Actually, it is kind of. You got me looking around now, Ruthie. Oh, goodness.
I'm glad to know that though, because my tires like to act funny.
You know what? I hate when your tire says
my
9.
battery died yesterday.
Ooh,
well, no more indoor dining. So me and my best friend, I opened the trunk door, sat there, had the radio on, like dun-da-duns, right? And then I tried it. I was like,
got it.
You didn't turn it on?
She's like,
you didn't turn the car on?
Yeah, but not all the way. It wasn't right, guys.
Clearly.
I messed up.
Okay.
But I called AAA. My man Edward was there within 35 minutes. Appreciate you.
Shout out to Edward, man. I love AAA, though.
Me too.
AAA, I used to be like, I'm a man's man. AAA be like,
hey, that plus membership.
You know what? And for $35, it's worth it.
It's
really
worth it.
You paid $35?
I paid $35. Well, I'm about to buy the $69. I think I had that one, but I don't have it now because anyway, you know how it go. Anyway, so, but
I was like, you can pay $35?
You know what?
You can add some.
And you can get some hotels. I mean, you can get hotel discounts and everything.
And you can share your stuff.
Oh yeah, you know the AAA place used to be in the Thompson Center.
It go with you wherever you are. The car goes to whatever car you're in.
That's right.
Right? So you be like,
you can
yo.
look like a hero.
Like, Mace, can you ride with me?
You don't want me riding. I told you. That's why I always drive my own car, so I can make sure that the back cop to come and do what it's supposed to do. All right. How about this one? Bears lose yesterday, 23-26.
I missed it. I was recording the game, and you know, you don't record the overtime unless you say record 15 minutes later, which I forgot to do.
You know what? I always do that for the Bears games, but it was a guided wreck.
Yeah.
It was like watching, like I really am. I'm almost over it, but it's like they kept you on to the end, and it's like the cliffhanger Bears.
Yeah,
and it's like, but instead of like the car tipping backwards, it tips forward and you go off the cliff. You know how those movies be like, help me, and you like, we'd be like, boosh. But I must tell you that the kickback, off the chain. Gotta say, shout out to Herb, Gene, and Terrence, right? So we gotta check those guys. I mean, we got that. Y'all gotta check that out. So they you know what? I am really impressed with their analysis.
Kickoff, kickback.
The kickoff, kickback.
I got it right? Or
That's
is it kickoff, kickback,
kickback,
or
kickoff,
the
kickoff. What? Kickoff, kickback. You know what? I got to pull it back up now. Hold on.
Yeah, I do think their analysis
Kickoff,
is...
kickback.
Okay. Their analysis, that alliteration gonna get me every time. We used to call it...
You know you should be all good. You know you miss KKK. Triple letter. KKK athlete.
Their analysis is so... The word I want to use is 360. Like, it is like 360 analysis. So if you are interested in sports, but not just like the technical aspect of the tight end running the ball across the if you want to know some social behind it, if you want to know some pop culture, if you want to know some economics, but also if you want to know some social justice aspects, it is the perfect show.
You know what? It's interesting that you say that, because what I enjoy about it is that it gives me analysis that I can enjoy with perspective that I enjoy. Right?
Exactly.
And those guys actually know sports, right? They know sports, but they are also...
But they also know society.
Yes. And then they also are helping me tap into the new way of thinking of athletes, because I'm still...
Oh, they keeping you hip, man.
You know what? You got to get the kids
keeping you hip.
Well, I tell you what. Check out the the kickback. Good God. I got it right here. The kickoff kickback every Sunday at 10 with Herb Howard and the bigs. That's Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. I
know how we can remember it.
How?
Because the games start with a kickoff.
Okay.
Got to use them like little mnemonic devices.
No, but that's the wrong way.
I thought you said it was the kickoff, kickback.
Oh, it is kickoff.
Yeah, because you start with a kickoff.
Okay, good. Start with a kickoff. All right, look, we'll take a quick break, and then we are going to be right back. This is the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out chicagolegalnetwork.com for more information, or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Week events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Week members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek-led organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I will never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduced property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show, taking you back. Warp speed. We on some Salim Muwakil deep thought. Stripping music. Hey y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Todd Stroger's in the building. So is Ruthie Moore and Sonia Escobar. It seems we're locked and loaded. So let's get this thing up to 60,000 feet. This is the soul plane. Up and away. Hey y'all. Did you see the Dalton police shot another brother dead in the street? Not dead, but shot him down in the street. Like, whew. It's like,
yeah, this is.
Are you?
You know, I feel like the worst feeling that I can have related to these things is numbness. Because when you start not really feeling it like you used to feel it, you got to kind of ask yourself, is there something wrong with me?
I don't think it's something wrong with you. I think that it is a peculiar reality that we are faced with, and I think it's coming to a head. Unfortunately, I don't know if we are prepared for the head that it is coming to. It's interesting. Then you think about, you would think that the police shooting somebody still seems to me like who gonna check me, boo?
Right.
Yeah.
Who gonna check me, boo?
And then if you ask yourself, like, fundamentally, is that a lack of training? But how can you train somebody not to see people as animals?
Shoot, and be fearful of them.
I don't know. I know
that was like a real deep question, but it's just like, can we train our way out of systemic racism?
Shoot, they learn that from their youth. How are you going to stop them now?
I mean, I think it's intrinsically not born, but it is taught. It is. All right, I'm gonna move on from that.
Yeah, that's heavy for a Monday, right?
It is. Northwestern. Did you see the Northwestern and the Evanston uprisings?
Oh yeah.
Ruthie, look at you! Why your eyes light up?
That is.
You mean the Wildcats won?
No.
So if you
not apparently.
So if you think about like movements throughout history, they're generally youth driven.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And once the college kids get involved, them college age kids. That's a ball rolling down the hill. And then once these liberal private parents paying money for them to be in school, kids get involved. It's over with.
I tell Hans all the time that the people who start the revolutions, the guy who goes out somewhere to some poor country, they're always well educated. There's nobody who just grows
But
up.
that's even when you look in Africa. Usually, all of those people came to one of like
they be Western educated, quote unquote.
You know what? It's because their family, the wealthy leaders or whatever, send their children away, right, to be educated around the world, and they come back and then they're like worldly, but then they come back to rule. Man, it was deep when I went to
Even that's a lot of different countries. Look at North Korea.
Everywhere.
That's what they do,
Like,
right?
That's how he learned. That's how he learned to like Michael Jordan. Kim Young Ding.
Got a chance to actually see him, right?
Dennis Rodman.
Did I call him Kim Young Ding?
Kim Jong
Yeah.
I don't know what you talking about, but he likes his favorite team is the Bulls. He said he'd be wearing the jersey. Anyway, can you imagine Kim Jong wearing a jersey, a Bulls jersey, watching as he's? I'm gonna stop.
That's kind of crazy.
I am stop.
Yeah, you better stop.
Gun violence up 50% in Chicago.
Dang.
Like 50. That's like half of 100. That means that one half of all the shootings last year, add that plus 100% of. That's a lot.
You know what David Chappelle said in his special?
What?
All of us have to register
For firearms.
for firearms. Once all black people are registered for firearms, they're going to change some laws or at least enforce them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. Did you see UIC? They're planning a UIC partnership that will wind up shutting down 3 West Side schools. See how that works? Remember
So like UIC, because they have a like some kind of charter school thing.
Let me check.
So you're saying that students will have to go to their school?
Something along those lines. You know what? I'm gonna shoot you all the story. You know I'm gonna give it to Ruthie because you know Ruthie, she's kind of faster than you.
She like to read,
and she can break it down. Well, yes. Stop it, Ruthie. You know you're the reader amongst us.
See, what's in that typical black stuff? I don't read.
What you mean read?
Hey, you know you gotta keep the cool pose on.
Oh man!
Even when you're reading 50
you
books,
know you
she's
can't
still
even
like,
tell
I don't
nobody
read.
you reading, man. That's crazy. You don't have no reading around here.
Nope.
All right, so 3 North Lawndale neighborhood schools face closures as council looks to create new school with UIC partnership. I don't know how that go.
Well, you know, UIC school, I don't think they had a lot of participants. If it's still going, I hadn't thought about it in years.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that usually seems like keep the bad kids out.
Oh,
okay.
Right?
Like we're going to create this universe
Mm-hmm.
that's going to eliminate 3 schools that will force all of the children that don't make the standard out of that neighborhood to school, right? Again, making parents then have to go somewhere else, right? Because you got to think about UIC is now, you know what?
Okay,
So
I see what they're trying to do.
Tell me, Ruth. No, wait, tell me later.
Yeah.
But you know what I also realized? Did you know I used to live in the village too?
Ooh.
Remember when that guys came, the Rossetti for when brother Omar Muhammad came on and they was talking about the village. Did you know I didn't know that was the village I used to live in. I guess I lived in the gentrified version.
The village? Where is that?
University Village by UIC.
Oh, well, shoot. When you lived there, it wasn't University Village, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
That's what's that's crazy.
No, because I remember when
he called it Jute. Excuse me.
No, when I was born. No, when Janine's mother came to visit, so we've been married 25 years. Halsted, Jewtown as we used to call it.
Okay.
There was still a shanty town back there.
Right. So I lived in that, what you call back there, the shanty town that got knocked down, and part of it became the old fruit markets became University Commons, and then the front part of it became University Village.
You lived over there?
I lived over there, and then on the other side of it was Pilsen, but I didn't realize that's just how much.
Oh, you mean you lived over there?
Yeah.
That was your place.
Yeah, I wasn't talking, but he was talking about the village, and I'm like, then I was reading something this week. I was like, wait a minute. I I know those railroad tracks because they was out my back door. Like literally, when I pulled my car out of my garage, the railroad tracks that he was talking about were literally out my back door.
Wow.
It was crazy. So you learn so much, and then it's just a gentrified. Yeah, but he was.
No wonder you became successful. You were you were this close to being a St. Ignatius.
I was like, when I saw the hockey jersey on him, I was like, I don't know. All right, y'all. This is the Mace Jackson Show. We are. Check this out. Rob Blagojevich had a rally for Trump this weekend. I think a couple. Did he show up in Bridgeport? I mean, in Mount Greenwood. Mount Greenwood had a
was that part
rally.
of the? Yeah, I was about to say the parade where they drive around.
I think so. And then they also had a Trump rally in Bolingbrook at the by the
hanging tree.
No, we didn't have a hanging tree. But then check this out. Did you hear that Kwame Kilpatrick is supposed to get out today?
Hooray! I met Kwame. He's a nice guy, even if he did screw a lot of stuff up.
I still think it's so funny that one time Ted Koppel interviewed him. He was like, this dude is talking about policy and all type of stuff, and Ted Koppel could not stop saying, that is really a big earring. Look, y'all, we'll talk about it all more when we come back. It's the Mace Jackson Show.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Your voice will be heard.
Your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union.
Change will happen.
And so all men of goodwill will go to the polls on November the 3rd. And I hope we will have a great day in our nation so that when we wake up on the 4th of November, we will know that America has made the right decision.
Mark your calendars for What's in It for the Black People Media special election night coverage. This is the nation's only culturally specific digital platform that respects the black community's diverse viewpoints. We're here for you. The only place to stay on top of 2020 election night coverage is on the Mace Jackson page on Facebook and Mace Jackson on YouTube. It all starts Tuesday night at 7.
You know who to vote for. I'm just asking you to vote.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
WIFTBPM.
I think that the black community is starting to realize the mayor may not necessarily be an ally just because she is black.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
Our representatives don't necessarily get a pass just because they're black. We've got a challenge in the black part of Chicago of holding black politicians accountable.
You're listening to The Mace Jackson Show.
This is Chicago, so I understand the Chicago way. I ask every day what's in it for the black people.
With Mace Jackson.
Come on, y'all.
You are tuned in to the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruth and Moore, Sonia Escobar, and yes, Rob Blagojevich was out on the campaign trail, but he was campaigning with white folks, and it was funny to see that Trump is a binding force for white people, because all the white people in whatchamajigam, you would in Mount Greenwood, you would think they wouldn't necessarily be pro Rob Blagojevich, but they definitely were. So Rob Blagojevich was
the Mount Greenwood 19th warders are Republicans. That's where that Republican base comes in.
That's the ones that voted for the Nazi.
Yeah,
got it. Okay. Then they're talking about Kwame Kilpatrick getting out.
Is that an early release or it was just time?
No, hell no. He's supposed to be he got one of them Rob Blagojevich sentences.
Yeah.
Like one of them, yeah, you come back and see your kids when they grow.
Oh.
Right? Like, we gonna teach this Negro don't touch the money. Now, Ruthie, she has some very strong feelings on it. We gotta say this one because I want to come back to this. Only because, but Kwame Kilpatrick dovetails into something that I think that I noticed this weekend. There is a huge play right now. I want to tell y'all that y'all call me hater for 10 years. I really want to go back and pull up some of my old shows and just say Ruthie, actually, we talked about this in City So Real. Did you watch City So Real this weekend?
You know I watched it twice.
Whoa.
I watched it twice. I've been analyzing it.
She did that so she wouldn't have to read.
No, I watched it because I know May's been waiting to talk about it. So
right.
we can do some on-air conversations, and then I got some off-the-air stuff to ask and to talk to you about.
Okay, cool.
But I was really impressed with myself. I was like, ooh, I hope they edited me right.
They did.
They did a good job.
I think they did a good job for I really feel like I was pretty pleased with what came out of that.
Mace, I done got so in depth with it. I have even started to go back and read the interviews with the directors from the course of the whole year, and I have gained some insight like no other into their filming process and their thought process behind the way that they filmed it and edited together.
You should talk to Steve. So let's just put y'all together, Steve and Zach, if you want to talk to him, and just because Neil Sellers Griffin said he wanted to watch it with them. And have a beer and be able to talk through it and be like, what were you seeing?
I want to be his friend after watching it.
Man, have you watched Tube Dreams?
Yes.
Okay, so imagine that they did that. Imagine somebody straight out of college saying this is, and they picked them two guys, right? Like that they have some deep in. I mean, I don't want to sweat but anyway,
don't sweat the technique.
Here's what we were talking about Kwame Kilpatrick. Mm-hmm. And what I was saying was that I noticed this weekend, City So Real, because I said in that last episode that there was a war on black men. Mm-hmm. Right? And you was like, that's how we going to start this?
That's literally how we started the first show.
Right. There's a war on black men. And I kept telling y'all throughout this whole campaign that the Democratic Party for the last 4 years has ignored black men. Mm-hmm. And now what you see is the full court press is on for black men, right?
Let me give you your props, Maze, because you have been beating the drum for the inclusion of black men as long as I have ever known you. So kudos to you, my brother, for standing strong and holding the line even in the face of adversity when they told you that you hate women.
Thank you, Ruthie. I appreciate that. Could you clip that? Could you make that a promo, please? I need that. So, because the interesting thing about it is, so I was watching football this weekend, and there were commercials running and for Trump that were like, they were playing the whole Joe Biden straight from the speech where he was like, lock him up, super proud. I mean, I was like, dang. Then they had, they was like, you know who he was talking about, right? Like straight up talking to black men. At the same time, we saw that President Obama shot the 3-point shot, which was the shot heard around the world. We got the basketball dribble, bam, and that is our president once again.
I do this.
Right. They are now having rallies in Philadelphia because the play is on. Because as you look at them Trump rallies, it's thousands of people out there. Maskless, the whole thing. And they got cars in Philly because they need black men to turn out. You see in Detroit, the potential of the release of Kwame Kilpatrick is another shot towards black men saying you will be able to get out and get free. If you pay attention around the country, there have been people who have been released who are influential in certain inner city neighborhoods. We're immune to it in Chicago. Mm. But when you go to places like Milwaukee, Detroit, Philadelphia, places where black men have been ignored and they are now trying to fill in the gaps, I need to know in your mind, what role do you think that black people will have in a Joe Biden win? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 877-475-7474. And let me ask the black women, do you think your strategy, knowing that this could come down to black men, how would you say your strategy has been thus far? Right? Like, do you all think that black men are needed to win this race? Apparently both the campaigns do. How effective is Obama? And let me ask you a question. If you knew that you needed black men to win this election, where do you see the voter enthusiasm outside of the normal people that you see that are Democratic Party regulars? What role do you think that black men will have in this race? Now, let me ask you another question. Do we have calls? Oh, phones are alive, 872-259-7474. Give us a call, men and women. I want to hear, what role do you think, how important are black people in the Joe Biden, will black people be for Joe Biden to win? And in that, the sub-question is, what role will black men play in that? You think you've had an effective strategy thus far with outreach to black men? I'm just saying, if you knew that this race was going to come down to the Democratic strategies to reach black men, how successful, what role do you think we would play? Let me ask you this. If you knew that 2 out of 10, if you knew that 2 out of 10 black people, if they go against Biden loses.
Whoa.
2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. That's 20%. Now remember, Trump only got 8. Do you think 2 out of 10 black people, if you counted any random 10 black people, do you think there's 2 Trump voters in there?
Nope.
Ruthie?
That's a good question. I think you bring up I always have trouble with these statistics, though. I always have trouble with these statistics. And I know that, I'm always curious who they polling, where they get these people from, who analyzing this data, and who's telling me this data. But I do think that black men, so I think that it's a little bit bigger than them needing black men to actually win the election. I think black men are needed to save the soul of this country. And so I think that depending on how this go, people are going to forge stronger alliances. So can you imagine what's going to happen in the next 4 years? Are black men going to be more organized politically? So right now, I think it's really, they trying to capture not just the interest, but really the hearts, because they've been kind of playing to y'all hearts a little bit, black men. So I don't know if it's working, or if y'all just like, no, I don't care about the Platinum Plan or Ice Cube or Kwame getting out. What you think, Todd? Is it working?
Are we talking about one group or the other? I mean, Democrats or Republicans? Or
Yep. Who is capturing the hearts of black men right now?
Oh, I doubt if black men have a good feeling for either side. But I think for the most part, black men are going to stick with Democrats. They know what Republicanism is. And they're not fooling around with that. The only people who fool around with that are people with a lot of money, people who are mad as heck, like Mace. But for the most part, most people, the detached from the everyday fighting the politics people, they're not going to be fooling around with the Republicans. They're going to stick with what they know. Either they're going to stick with what they know, or they're going to do what they usually do and not vote. It's one of those two.
Will the apathy outweigh the need to be like, let me go vote for Biden? Or people just gonna say, I'm just not voting at all? Like, what do you think the sentiment is at?
Do I think there's apathy? No, I don't think there's apathy. Not in this race.
Okay, so
President Trump is so polarizing that I think that we're going to see some incredible numbers pop up, because there's people on both sides who are like, we need to keep this country for white people. And then there's people on the other side, we need to get this fascist out. So,
okay.
I think people are going to vote.
Do you think that the prison reform aspect of America right
No.
now is enough
You know
to draw
how many
black men
people
in?
actually are in jail?
More than they can release, so it don't matter?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Compared to how many people in your family are in jail right now?
Too many.
Too many? Well, you're right. One too many, right?
Uh-huh.
But I can't think of anybody in my family at the moment who's
that's good.
in jail. So
That's really good, Todd.
So that kind of stuff doesn't affect me at the moment. And I bet you most families, they're not thinking about that. And if they were, they were thinking, man, that Negro needed to be in jail.
You know how like it's the joke about like with the black man who be like, I ain't never went to jail. Like it's like a thing for a black man to say, I ain't never been to jail. I ain't never got locked up. Do you think that overall the way that the prison industrial complex is used against black men, that the whole prison reform push will be enough to galvanize the black male voter or the black male in American society?
This is what I think. I think if you want to get anything done in America, you better have some white folks on your side. So this isn't really about the black group. It's about the white, even if you don't like them, it's about the white liberals and how many people they can put on board and how many of those kind of Midland Republicans you can have, if you can get any of them, to be with you.
Let's take that right there. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, I want to just talk about black voter enthusiasm. We'll talk about it when we come back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. So many politicians are bought by special interests and major corporations instead of the citizens who elected them. I would not be bought. I would finance my own campaign in good faith to the voters of Illinois and promise to serve with integrity at all times. I'm asking for your support as I run for U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIIFTVPN.
Are you ready for some authentic, delicious street tacos on the south side of Chicago? Stop by for the launch of Sissy's Taco Bar pop-up at 312 East 75th Street on Thursdays and Fridays, starting November 5th from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Experience their jerk chicken, sriracha shrimp, and blackened salmon tacos. And don't forget to ask about their Rome walking taco, Sissy street corn, and children's meal that comes with a special price. Visit sissytacobar.com for more information.
Your voice will be heard.
Your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union.
Change will happen.
And so all men of goodwill will go to the polls on November the 3rd. And I hope we will have a great day in our nation so that when we wake up on the 4th of November, we will know that America has made the right decision.
Mark your calendars for What's in It for the Black People Media special election night coverage. This is the nation's only culturally specific digital platform that respects the black community's diverse viewpoints. We're here for you. The only place to stay on top of 2020 election night coverage is on the Maze Jackson page on Facebook and Maze Jackson on YouTube. It all starts Tuesday night at 7.
You know who to vote for. I'm just asking you to vote.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore. I was trying to catch a little bit of that off air, on air. But y'all, we are asking,
what do black men want?
Yeah, man.
How do you satisfy a black man during the political season?
They want respect.
I can explain that. That's an off-air conversation. But I could tell you how to satisfy a black man during, excuse me, I'll leave that. That's for the After Dark show. This is the Maze Jackson show. We'll talk about it. But I guess I got to ask the question. Todd, thumb that.
That was
camera for me
racist.
again.
I'm not going to say that.
That wasn't racist. I think that could have been sexist. Thumb it first, and then go back and hit that. Then leave it alone for a second. Just let it be.
Dang it. I did it too quick.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the Maze Jackson show. So what role do you think, Dave? We good. What role do you think black people will play in this election? And what role y'all should have listened to me. Hit the top button. The top on the camera. Right up there. Yep, that one right there. All right. So
I got a question, Maze. How, and you don't have to necessarily answer this, but what gave you really just, I know you a black man, but what has the writings on the walls, what are some of the writings on the walls that you've been seeing over the past sort of like few years that would give you the impression that the black male there's no place for the black man within not just the Democratic Party, but heck, you might say within Illinois politics? Like, what are some things that you've been seeing, like with your own eyes, to show you?
I would say that, first of all, I would look around and I would say at every point in my understanding right now, I have seen anytime a black man has gone down, there's been an emphasis on using a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I think about the leadership role of black men in the city of Chicago, you don't see very many straight black men with much impact or stuff to say. I was thinking about, like, even when you look at our political class, like, we don't have any black male political warriors that are on the floor. I think every time I saw the discussion of a win, I think when it really jumped out to me, honestly, was Doug Jones. When the Doug Jones race happened, which was the one in Alabama, I believe, I remember there being such a tremendous emphasis on the role that black women played. And they were saying, like, black women voted for Doug Jones at 96%. And I was like, that's pretty cool. But I'm sure that if you looked at the numbers, black men were probably over 90, right? And I kept saying to myself, where are the black men? And then I kept saying, like, when they were talking about all of these black people in cages, I was essentially saying to myself, dang, not black men in cages, these Latino children in cages, and separating them from their families. I was saying to myself, what happened to the black men who were separated from their families and their kids and all of those different things? And why is our plight so easily ignored by the people who we have? You know, I was saying, I drive my wife to the poll every time she goes. We vote together, right? I've instilled in my children to vote for the Democratic Party. Realistically, they're probably seeing a little different side of dad now, but to watch the same party emasculate us locally while we have no say in the local politics. Like, think about really where black men fit in the Democratic Party of Illinois. That is what cooked my grits. And it's like the fact that any black man that stands up and tries to be somebody or demand that they want equal treatment is looked at as some sort of pariah. When you watch it happen for everybody else. And I do take it personal. I do. And I ask you to show me a black man in power in Illinois. Show me a powerful black man in Illinois. Show him to me. Politically. Name him. Somebody that somebody is scared to offend. Who is concerned that if you were in trouble, that you could go to this black person and people would stand down. There is nobody that white men fear in Chicago. They could do anything to any one of us at any moment, and guess what? everybody sit down and be like, dang, that's mad. That's messed up. That's what makes me say. I'm saying, tell me who can stop something. Better yet, tell me who can do something. Tell me who can make somebody. Anyone?
Crickets.
Now, they can use a black person to tear you down, but give me a black person that can build you.
That's good. I think that's a good question, and I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I'm thinking all the black people I know, all the black men.
And you know a lot of black people, Todd.
I'm running through my head, and I don't see anybody in that space.
You know what I think we have to be willing to do? We have to be willing to help somebody or something amass enough power to do that.
Aha, Ruthie more.
Let me tell you, though. Let me tell you. It's funny that you mentioned that because we had a show on Friday where somebody came on the show and was like, I have a problem with what's in it for the black people. Because somebody think that they going to call it and who's the black people. And it went back to that whole stupid ass argument about what's in it for me compared to what's in it for the black people. Right? And it is
the collective versus the individual.
But it is our refusal to recognize the way the power dynamic is played. So we get these fake intellectuals who get to be, who talk loud and get to say and talk and get a megaphone and be in front of a bunch of easily led people who have never played in the power dynamic. So they don't even understand the process of building collective power because they'd rather be riding around talking some earth be free stuff while the power dynamic is being played around them. And it sounds sexy and it sounds cool till you drive through your neighborhood and you look around and it's you pulling up to a dirty ass building on a dirty block and the white people pumping you up telling you, you go ahead, you lead that because you got the freedom to escape. And because you don't understand how the power dynamic is played, and so many of us don't understand the power dynamic, it is we do ourselves. There's no name one of your hippie. Name any hippie rapper, fake philosopher that can help a black person. You know what I mean? Like, move you from poverty with through their own means, not by going to some white people and they fund your organization. Tell me who are the black people, because like power, somebody has to, y'all got to be able to go to somebody. And all of us can't go to no rapper.
No.
And quite frankly, we shouldn't be going to no rapper. Rap.
Rap, yeah.
Like, again, no political acumen or backing. And it's like our fate is put in the hands of philosophers while our opposition has sword bearers. We philosophizing against people that are whipping, that are using weapons against us. Talking about and ain't never been to a political war or a political battle. We are led to the slaughter. We are led to the slaughter by our unwillingness to organize politically.
Yeah, I agree. Unwillingness is a good word, too.
Because the fear is that, I'm not even going to the fear. The challenge we got right now is we don't even understand the power dynamic that is being played at all. And so when you talk about people leading us there is no black person over the last 5 years, with the exception of the dude across the street, who I can say actually helped someone move. And it's so and we so busy being worried about who is going to be the person that we don't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
And what they know is they can always plant weeds amongst the growth because black people are easily distracted. Easily distracted. Man, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
WIIFTBPM.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
A new political party in Illinois? Could it be happening? Tune in on Tuesday for in-depth election coverage. I will be covering the Willie Wilson Party. Tune in to What's in It for the Black People for the blackest, most in-depth election coverage that you gon' find. Coverage starts at 7 p.m.
WIIFTBPM.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
He is joining Chicago famous Mr. Rick Party.
I remember meeting the Brat before she was big. We were going to Jack the Rapper conference in Atlanta.
Jack the Rapper again.
So she's sitting, waiting for a plane. She got her braids in her hair, got her overalls on, and she saw me walk up to the gate. She's like, Rick's Party, oh my God! She's doing all of that. I said, well, who are you? She goes, I'm the Brat. I'm a new rapper from I live on the West Side. I'm with Social Def. I'm about to meet Jermaine Dupri. I did some on Chris Cross's song. I think it was it The Bomb or something like that? Or
Right.
Yeah. She did some on there. So that was my introduction to her. So she would come back to my show every now and then and help me introduce the Coke Top 99. I remember we played a home jam and had people judge her song, right? And some people were like, it's all right, it's okay. And she's like, yo,
Wow.
Straight West Side, man. It was crazy.
Straight West Side.
Yeah, so.
Chicago famous, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Are you curious to explore the intellectual currents that channel our thoughts and frame our reality? Have you ever meditated for relaxation and accidentally discovered the universe in the process? These matters and many more you may never have even thought of will be yours to explore as you come with me into Muwak Hill's world. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I will never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduced property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to last, can't doze no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' start. They ain't tryna help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something. We gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve them.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it on the count of 3. Let's go.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, Sonia, Escobar, all in the building. Y'all know how we do at the top of the hour. Gotta say what's up to everybody in the joint. We are doing our thing. Okay. All right, let's, so let me ask a question. How important are black people in this election? Thoughts?
No, black people are important in every presidential election. I mean, this is Illinois is going for Biden, so it's kind of hard to speak from this state, but from the rest of the country, yeah, they're important.
Okay. So I guess I got to ask my questions. So, Ruthie, what do you think? Do you think if it came down to black people, and not just black women, but black men and black women, if there was a total, and let's say the total is 58-42, right? So 58% women, 42% men. Do you think that 2 out of 10, how do you think Democrats have done in recruiting black men to the cause?
You know, interestingly enough, I don't think they've had to do too much recruiting. In on some hands, I think Trump makes it easy a little bit. And I think the pandemic is really playing a role in all this. But I think this election for black people, and this, I don't know how this is about to sound, but I think it's bigger than these votes. This election for black people is bigger than these votes. And I think that black people politically right now are waking up in a sense. And it's tough because it means that some black people might align themselves in certain ways that everybody doesn't agree with. And we're seeing some real divisions within the black community. And so that's why I think this election is so important, not just because of our actual vote, but what this means for us in terms of our political alliances moving forward. I think we're seeing a lot of lines being drawn in the sand. And so I think no matter how this election goes, black people are going to be speaking differently, and we're going to have a different outlook on what it means to be a politically astute black American and where our alliances and allegiances have or don't have to be.
Got it. Todd?
Oh, I think this is, I hate to sound like I'm old, but man, I've seen this before, but on a smaller stage, I've seen this happen in state elections. Black people get disillusioned with the Democratic Party, as they should at sometimes. They don't do anything of any real strength. What they do is they tend not to vote, and they let the Republican win. I don't think that's going to happen in this, because this Republican has shown his stripes or hood. So that's why I don't think he's going to win. I think black people are like, man, this guy is dangerous. Then you got people who just hate the Democrats, and they don't care what the hell happens. Like Ruthie will say every once in a while, burn the whole house down.
If it goes to the left, whose fault will it be? And when I say goes to the left, I mean if Trump wins again. I would say that if I was a betting man right now, I'd say that I think Trump is at a significant disadvantage. I do not think we can underestimate the white silence, because I do feel like
good one.
There is, like, the fact that I don't ever recall there being a George. I can't ever recall a Republican rally in Mount Greenwood. Like, not where they lining up, driving down the streets, having a parade, right? Like George Bush, 1, 2, right? Did they do that for Reagan?
No, if you remember, Reagan's group was the silent majority.
So I'm just saying, like, I think that makes me nervous, Todd. Like the fact that,
oh yeah, they think like, hey man, we can take this country back.
I think
See, I don't think they're fighting to quote unquote quite take it back. I think they're trying to keep it. And to me, that's a whole different fight, because if you actually have a grasp on power and you feel it slipping away, you are going to do anything that you can to keep that power that you can feel in your hands. Whereas like us, we fighting to get the power. So that's a different fight, because we climbing up. So I think that's what's putting us at such political odds right now. And I like to refer to it as the law and order people. Like, white people are like, we got to keep law and order. And I put that in air quotes. If you can't see me on the radio, I'm putting it in air quotes. But if you peep game, everything boils down to law and order. And these white people draw their allegiances across law and order, which means generally they going white with the whites.
Law and order is just a racist
Exact.
thing.
Thank you.
That's all. It's like Lee Atwater gave the speech. Hans played it for him.
Hans, man, we need to put Hans on the damn show.
Yeah, every once in a while I'm like, what? How'd you figure this out? So Lee Atwater, who was a big Republican strategist, very successful, he said, back in the old days, you could say ninja, 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 and it was all fine. Nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to do things differently, and you don't say ninja. You say things like what you just said, Ruthie. Law and order. Right. But and less taxes. We know exactly what that means. That means we're not giving no money to no black folks, and we need to lock them up.
Now, does that what that means to black people? Because if I heard that I didn't have to pay more taxes, I'm okay with that.
That's because you make a lot of money.
No, do you know anybody? Let me just ask a question. Have you ever gone to a store and said,
all right, we need this to go to the regular folks. Ruthie, Sonia.
Do you go to the
Mace
store?
cannot answer this question.
Ruthie, do you get to say when you go to the store, hey man, you forgot to put me tax on that. Pay me tax on that. Like, do you want to pay taxes?
No.
I mean, like, why is it that black people are the only people that want to pay taxes? That don't want, like, why does it feel like you saying, like, Todd, that's not what that means to me. That means to me that I don't want to pay 4 cents for a grocery store bag.
I'm sorry. Lee Atwater wasn't talking to you.
I got you. But I'm saying I think that that's a misnomer to say that.
No, it's not. That's because black people don't understand that the Republicans aren't talking to you. They don't care what you think. They're talking to white folks, so white folks will rally, stay with the Republicans, and keep you black folks where you're supposed to be.
I got you on that. I'm still saying I don't want to pay more taxes.
I get that. Nobody wants to pay more taxes.
You just said okay. All right.
Nobody wants to pay more taxes.
That's my point. That's my point.
But that's because we are so disillusioned with government, because government hasn't done what it's supposed to for us, that we would cut our own throat cut our nose off to spite our face.
What you mean by that in this context?
That means that, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
the taxes are for people who don't have a lot of money, really. I mean, everybody benefits from taxes because, there's roads and water and all that stuff. But in the end, those who are not the 2%, they don't need tax money like everybody else does. But they like to make it appear as if, for one thing, they don't even pay real taxes. But they think because their corporation pays taxes, but everybody's involved in a corporation. Everybody who works in it is. So, but the end is that money goes mostly for social programs and things that you and I couldn't do. Like, we can't repair our street by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
J.B. Pritzker could repair all the streets around his neighborhood if he wanted.
Okay.
I beg to differ. Maybe I'm incorrect, but I don't think.
Man, he really rich.
I really don't think that we are disproportionately the beneficiaries of tax dollars. I think if you look at our communities, I would argue that that's not correct. That's not correct. I think if you were to look at our communities and you were to look, I would say that we get a pittance of what our tax dollars go towards in exchange for places like Beverly. Like, you can show me tax dollars at work. Show me tax dollars at work in a black neighborhood and show me tax dollars at work in a white neighborhood. I fundamentally, and I think even if you look at the mass numbers of people, more beneficiaries of of public aid, etc., are white people just by sheer number, just by their sheer population. And I think that propagating that only reinforces what you're trying to say, as compared to like reinforcing a negative narrative, what I would say is a false narrative. Because if we're going to say that, I think we can't take on the negativity of the fact that more white people benefit from welfare.
You know, that would mean something, Maze, if those poor white folks were as intelligent as you, but they're not. So they feel the same way as the rich white folks. I don't want to pay any more taxes, even though I'm getting all the money out of it.
I feel like
I've met some.
I'm saying that, and when I go to the grocery store and I have to pay 4 cents for a bag that the grocery store wants to give me for free, I don't want to pay for it. Now, if you don't, and that's the same way that all those black people that I see every week coming in there with a freaking taking their cart to their car and still dumping their stuff in their car, because now you can't bring a bag because of COVID, right? So now you're forced into paying this tax. I'm going to tell you, every time you go to the Arab corner store, or to the whatever, they trying to say, do you pay it no tax, or they roll it into it and then just take it up and round it out. But everywhere, not everywhere, but so many people say, can I get that cash, no tax, right? All the time, because nobody wants to pay taxes. And I think that it is.
That's just an American thing. I don't know about Europe and stuff.
So don't make it a black welfare thing.
I'm not making it a black welfare thing. But the truth of the matter is, since we are, as a group, poor, and you can make all those statistics about Pennsylvania and Arizona, Arkansas, and all those poor people there, sure. But if you look at where we're concentrated, which is really in big cities and, Mississippi, because that's like 38% of the population, we don't have as much as the rest of the group. When I say the rest of the groups, I mean
and they
white
keep
people.
Giving us, we don't, but they keep and our piece of it is depreciating, and they make money off the piece that they give us because they use their people to staff the organizations. So now,
I totally agree.
If you take the tax dollars, so let's say you just told me to fill out the census, and I filled out the census, and we got the same amount of people as Beverly. Why does Beverly's tax dollars look different than the black tax dollars?
I'm not quite sure what that meant. Ruthie, can you?
If Beverly has a relative amount of people, let's say they have 55,000 people.
Okay.
And let's say that the 18th ward has 55,000 people. Why does $55,000 and both of those people probably pay somewhere in the same tax range for the most part, right? Because they probably are those. Why does it look different in Beverly that it does in the 18th ward? Like, why? If they pay the same amount of taxes,
they got better jobs in Beverly. I mean, when I say better jobs, they have a better income stream.
They're not working at social service agencies.
The whole 18th ward and the whole 19th ward is not doing the same thing, but you know that there are some big top jobs in Beverly and Morgan Park, and that those police and firemen live in Greenwood.
Whose tax dollars do they use?
Same tax dollars that everybody else in government uses.
Got it. All
everybody.
Right. So that's all my point is. It's all good. I'm gonna move on from that.
Good, because I was lost.
Hey, you know what? I was just thinking it's election day coming tomorrow. Who ran the strongest local political campaigns? Like, who really proved to you that they wanted your vote? Let's talk about that after we take this quick break. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Ruthie Moore here. Mark your calendar for What's in it for the Black People Media Election Night Special on Tuesday, November 3rd. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. until midnight.
AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
Are you ready for some authentic, delicious street tacos on the south side of Chicago? Stop by for the launch of Sissy's Taco Bar pop-up at 312 East 75th Street on Thursdays and Fridays, starting November 5th from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Experience their jerk chicken, sriracha shrimp, and blackened salmon tacos. And don't forget to ask about their Rome walking taco, Sissy street corn, and children's meal that comes with a special price. Visit sissytacobar.com for more information.
WIFTBPN.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I will never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduced property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. Check this out, y'all. So I am asking, who ran the strongest local political campaign? So one of the things that I always think about, my good friend, Alderman Burnett. He rarely faces crazy competition, but he always taught us to run the election like, even if he wasn't worried about the campaign, he would always act like he was worried about the campaign. And he would teach us that you gotta run like somebody's running against you all the time.
Yeah, would you tell him not to give me another Walter Burnett button next time I see him? I got about 20 of those things.
He probably, did you get the cap? Did you get the pen? Did you get the mask?
You mean he's holding out on me?
Man, he mails it to all of his community.
Well, I don't live in there.
Well, see, I'm telling you. And one of the things that happens in that process is his young soldiers or his young understudies learn how to do things that you ordinarily would not learn how to do working on a black campaign. Right? So you may learn how to do mail. You may learn how to print signs. You may learn how to price all of those things so that when the time comes and there is a real campaign, you'll know how to do it. Mm-hmm. So I always look around times like this and I say, I observe campaigns and I say, wrapping up, if I was saying I wanted to look at all of the campaigns, who would you say has run the most successful campaign in the black community? Like, whose campaign is like if you had to go to the polls right now, what is you are running to the polls for what?
Willie Wilson.
Dang, Ruthie. Dang, Sonia.
No, yeah.
That's what you're going for, Willie Wilson? Woo-wee. I'm going for Willie Wilson, too. But what's driving you to the polls? Whose campaign, Who has worked the hardest for your vote? Like, when I say who's spent money on radio commercials, TV commercials, who has sent you mail, who has campaigned, who has given out campaign literature materials, who have you seen visibly present?
Willie Wilson. I've seen him the most.
In the black community. Name the person that has worked the hardest to get the black vote this election cycle. Let me run you some big campaigns. Fair tax. Y'all know that was a $50 million campaign.
Right.
$50 million, 52. I was just reading in the paper the other day that they said Quentin Folks, black guy from Georgia, is Governor Pritzker's top campaign advisor. How does that happen? I pointed out this weekend though, also, because part of the reason I'm pointing this out is because it's a lot of talk smack fake Democratic operatives who ain't working right now.
You mean the money ain't trickled down to them?
I'm just saying. Remember all the professionals that JB hired?
Yes.
Remember everybody was a political expert. They was, because they could run the church program. They could run the who, where you at? How much you making? So fair tax campaign. Did they try hard to get the black vote? I think they did. I think they spent good.
I got a lot of mail on.
And
if you like
papers. They had Reverend Moss.
They had a.
Oh yeah, I see him on my Facebook all the time.
During the Bears game, I saw a good one with a black man.
I saw one with. Can I tell you that one with Reverend Moss hurt me though. But let me just say, first of all, it's awesome that Reverend Moss. He's been an advocate for fair taxation since 2012. We talked about that.
That's why I ain't really tripping.
I wish his commercial wasn't paid for by JB. Right?
Well?
Or I just feel like y'all know how I told you practitioner of the dark arts. You just get in. Once you get in, you can figure it out. So that caught me off guard to be watching college football and be like, whoa!
They got you too.
Right. Herb hit me up. Well, Herb actually was talking about it yesterday, but that caught me off guard. That did catch me off guard. Like, dang. They got the most respected. That to me is probably the most respected black pastor in my universe. Did y'all see? By the way, Reverend Wright was on. He preached yesterday.
I saw the notice for that.
He talked about the crooked preachers.
Oh.
Somebody's phone is up. Somebody's volume is up, and it's probably not mine.
I don't know about that. You've been the culprit the last few times.
Todd, you just be cool. Is it the TV? It could be the tube. All right, y'all. So what campaign wanted your vote the most? Fair tax? Kim Fox? Do we get a big Kim Fox campaign?
I don't think so.
Not really, I don't think.
How important do you think the black vote is to the Kim Fox campaign?
What? Shoot. It's really important.
I think we really didn't really see too much because it was kind of like, this is a given. I know y'all about to vote for Kim Fox, so I ain't really gotta.
So does Kim ride the Trump? Does she get the ride? She rides the Trump wave, like the anti. Do you think people are going to vote against Trump, or are they voting for Kim?
I think people are voting for Kim.
They're going to the polls to put.
I think so too.
I think some people are going to the polls specifically to vote for Kim Fox. Absolutely.
I am. She's one of the people. I think Willie Wilson and Kim Fox.
Yes, absolutely. Those are yes. But I do think that
I doubled down after that story though.
I think the Kim Fox vote is kind of like a. Yeah, I do think that Kim Fox didn't have to work too hard in terms of like campaigning and things like that. But I think that the Illinois Democratic Party made some power plays though. I think Cook County did some power plays though to really show us to say, hey, y'all voting for Kim or y'all gonna go with this law and order narrative. So that's why Kim didn't have to work too hard because society kind of set it up for the win a little bit.
Okay. And I also think, what do you think about this Tooman? This Michael Tooman. I think if the Tooman, if they unseat Michael Tooman, then I think you're going to have a new judicial power broker in the Judicial Accountability PAC which is an interesting creation. Shout out to Michaela Blaze. Although I'm not sure about all the allegiances, but I think if they get Tumen, I think they're gonna be the 800-pound gorilla in the they're gonna be the 800-pound gorilla in the judicial race. In the judicial races.
I voted against Tumen, but I don't know those people. I'm not in that space, I guess. But I think if you let small things go, bigger things happen.
I think they've let small things go so many times when it comes to everything but us, right? Like, we get no mercy, we get no grace, and then it's just funny to me that we're allowing that this is gonna be the big deal. This will be a big deal. All right, Joe. How about what races are we watching the most? Ruthie, we're going to talk about, you know what, we'll talk about this more when we come back. And then when we also come back, we are going to talk about, what would you say if I told you that one family donated $65 million to this, to campaigns this year in Illinois? What if I told you there was multiple camp families that donated over $10 million to campaigns this year? I'm going to tell you, it's going to be crazy to talk about when we come back. We're going to talk about Chicago's mega donors. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information, or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Your voice will be heard.
Your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union.
Change will happen.
And so all men of goodwill will go to the polls on November the 3rd. And I hope we will have a great day in our nation so that when we wake up on the 4th of November, we will know that America has made the right decision.
Mark your calendars for What's in It for the Black People Media special election night coverage. This is the nation's only culturally specific digital platform that respects the black community's diverse viewpoints. We're here for you. The only place to stay on top of 2020 election night coverage is on the Maze Jackson page on Facebook and Maze Jackson on YouTube. It all starts Tuesday night at 7.
You know who to vote for. I'm just asking you to vote.
WIIFTVPM. WIIFTVPM.
I think that the black community is starting to realize the mayor may not necessarily be an ally just because she is black.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
Our representatives don't necessarily get a pass just because they're black. We've got a challenge in the black part of Chicago of holding black politicians accountable.
You're listening to The Maze Jackson Show.
This is Chicago, so I understand the Chicago way. I ask every day what's in it for the black people.
With Maze Jackson.
Come on, y'all.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore. Let me tell y'all what. I don't know how we get better at the game if we ain't in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Presidential election, the most money. Did we send anybody out of state? Did we, like, how do we get, I was just looking at, and the interesting thing was, Todd, the only way for somebody in Chicago to become a player politically in the presidential race.
The presidential race,
is to raise money.
Yeah, I totally agree.
The only way
you're not going to get it through the party.
The only way you can become a player locally in the presidential race is to be connected with money. Mm-hmm. And if you're not connected with the money and the power, then you are essentially left out the game.
It's the lack of organizations.
I was reading Politico. And as I was reading in Politico, they were talking about how many people from Chicago were going to be when Joe Biden wins, will be going to join the ranks of Joe Biden.
Yes, I remember you telling us the list of people like who?
Who that?
None of our people, nobody that we know is there. And it was all people raising money. And I guess for me, when I see that there is no effort in the black community, I wonder what is the opportunity for our future politically. Like, we have nobody going.
But I would suggest, and I could be wrong, that some of the people who may have the opportunity to push somebody up the ladder are either A, afraid, or B, afraid. They don't feel like they have the clout to suggest someone.
Again, power dynamics. We can't have nobody suggest nobody if there's nobody that anybody respects. Right? It's like y'all telling people to vote for Joe Biden when you don't got nobody on your team that even got no respect, that got his respect. I don't even Todd, it is crazy to me that with all of the money flying around, the most successful black folks in Illinois come from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And then convinced the white folks that they didn't need to invest in nobody black. So if you think about the two campaigns that we care the most about, that we should have the most influence or the most say in, we got where the black people are in charge.
Right.
Black people got no play.
Where are black people in charge at?
I would suggest that black people are in charge in the fair tax campaign. That's $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest that black people are in charge at the Kim Fox campaign with the girl from Detroit.
Got it.
You asked me the role of black men earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just wanted to know who wanted our vote the most. Who showed black people the most love during this election cycle in Illinois? Give it to me.
I'm still gonna say Dr. Willie Wilson. But I think that's just kind of consistent with who Dr. Willie Wilson is. And when you think in terms of, so I think that traditional politics is over with. The traditional way of doing things is over with. And that's not just because of the pandemic, but that's also just because of some societal shifts that are happening. And so, the old school method of putting your name on the campaign signs with the other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that really works as much.
Bobby
as it
Rush
used to.
Bobby Rush them did it. Let me stop there. Be saying I'm hating.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
so-
think that really works as it used to do. So who's done the most non-traditional campaigning?
Now, what does that mean? You mean like
I wouldn't say non-traditional.
Facebook and stuff like that?
Not just okay. So in the
YouTube?
pandemic, you ain't supposed to go outside, right? You're supposed to stay in the house.
Right.
Who has put on their mask and came outside to the people?
Well, that's traditional. That's glad handing.
But in the midst of a pandemic, though,
Who has done the most to reach black people this election cycle?
it's Dr. Willie Wilson. If like for real, if you think about boots on the ground, actual like economic infusion.
Ruthie's probably right because he went out and got COVID. He's like, I'm gonna get me some COVID while I'm out.
Look, the even
Yeah.
mad like
You think about the man gave away 24 million masks. 24 million. I'm just saying. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later because we're gonna talk about black elitism. I watched a conversation about a discussion about Willie Wilson from black people, and I was just like, y'all don't even talk about Klansmen like that.
Ooh.
It's like, and it was the smartest Negroes in the room all the time. Hey, shout out to you know what? I gotta give Era Sepulveda. Y'all, shout out to Era. So I'm asking y'all to vote for 2 people for Water Rec, right? Y'all know I am. It's only if I was gonna believe in the Black and Brown coalition, I would say that my man Roberto and his wife Era Sepulveda have been the example of that for years and years and years and years. So I'm asking you to vote for Kimberly Neely Dubuclay on Metropolitan Water Reclamation and Era Sepulveda. Those they say you can vote for 3. I'm asking you to vote for the 2 that are that have shown Madam President Steele the respect of being the president. And so I
followed your advice.
I would always.
I voted early.
Thank you. You voted early. I just want there are people that still refuse to even address her as president, right? And so I would just ask you to support the people that are supporting the president, El Presidente, Era Sepulveda, and Kimberly Neely Dubuclay, Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. Kim Fox. Shout out to we want Judge goodness, I can't P. Scott Neville too.
Oh, right.
Don't forget you can also pick up if you're still voting tomorrow, you need a What's in it for the Black People voter guides. We have those available, hard copies. We'll put them in the hallway so you don't got to come in. You can just grab some.
I took mine with me.
Hey, can somebody drop some off? Speaking of that, can you drop some off at Solo Beauty for me? They need some. Nidra reached out. All right.
I can do that actually.
Let me run some numbers for y'all real quick. $65 million. Dick and Elizabeth Uline.
Who? Who are they?
Ken Griffin, $43.6 million.
I know who he is. He gets a lot of pub.
Fred Eichner.
Yeah, I know who he is.
$19 million. Craig Duchessois.
Oh, the Duchessois.
$6.1 million. The Pritzkers. $4.6 million. Michael Sachs. $3.8 million. Melody Hobson, $3.1 million. Do you know what those names are and do you know what those numbers represent?
Is that the private donation?
Yes. Check this out. Those not private donations. Those are donations from those families are what are called Illinois mega donors. Those are the mega donors from Illinois. They range from $65 million to $3.1 million they have made in political contributions this year.
All different things. Huh?
$65 million. Ken Griffin, $43.6 million. $19 million, Fred Eichner. Let me help y'all understand. You want to know where your government is? That's where it is. What role do Illinois mega donors play in the presidential race?
That's your thing. You hobnob with rich people. I hobnob with regular
No,
folks.
I don't hobnob with these rich people. Not
He say not these ones.
Well, hold on. I do hobnob with. I've probably met all of those people because they probably all give props to the black OG. So I may have met them from a distance, but not like.
No, but I mean, you kind of know what the rich people's space is. I mean, when it comes to these type of elections.
Todd is crazy. So I was just thinking about the fact that much money has come out of Illinois this election cycle. Who is our voice? Like $65 million. Like, who's the black voice?
But that's to keep control of the black voice. Like, it's so much infighting going on. Like, and right now they need black people to choose a side. Are the black people are we gonna poll gas? I'm sorry, let me stop. Let me not use this. Let me speak in more eloquent terms. Are black people going to pour gasoline on the fire? Or are black people going to help put the fire out? And that is what America is fighting for. Which side are black people going to land on? Are y'all going to team up with the rest of the minorities? Or are y'all going to say, we want our blackness to be our blackness, and if y'all ain't going to give it to us, we going to have to make another way. Now, what is that other way? Is that other way being like, we about to vote Republican en masse? Or is that other way, we ain't finna vote at all? Or is that other way, let's start our own political party? Or is that other way, let's join the Democratic Party and try to make it right? Like, there are options, and right now people are fighting for the black people to join a side. So where we gonna go, black people? What do we want? What y'all want, black men?
I'm just curious.
Like I say, that ain't nothing new. Everything you just named, all that's been tried before, but not very well, obviously, because we haven't gotten anything yet.
But Todd, when have we been in a position to actually make these decisions?
You know what?
Because it's happened before, but when have we been in a position to say, hey, y'all, let's go that way. Hey, y'all, let's go this way. Hey, y'all, let's just stand right here and wait and see.
Unlike you, I think we've had better positions than we have now. The people we have now in what we would call high positions, I don't put them in the black category. I don't care what color their skin is. Their foot maybe halfway in, but they're not all the way in.
But you know, it's interesting that you took it from the top, because I'm thinking about the people on the bottom who ain't got nothing, that's ready to rally together to make change. That's what I think is different, is that group of people that's willing to organize themselves for a particular cause. If we can just get our cause together.
Who are those people you're talking about?
The disgruntled.
There's always disgruntled people.
The angry, the apathetic, the lesser
Ruthie,
of two evils.
There's always been disgruntled people.
Yes,
They've
but
always They've always made noise.
Mm-hmm.
They've always said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to be against you. And then give them a year and then they just dissipate. Because they cannot work together with anybody. They want to work by themselves and try to throw things. And there's not enough of us for that to work.
Interesting.
Well, I just think it's funny because I think the main people propagating that now, Todd, are the people that are in power. Right? Like, it's the same. Like, I almost feel like what you described is the people that we're supposed to. The dysfunction is external and internal. Right? So that same lack of ability to mobilize externally to say we mad, we gonna do whatever.
It's the same thing happens internally.
It's the same thing happen internally.
Yeah,
so the Black Caucus is always gonna tell us what they gonna do and how they gonna do it and blah blah blah. And then we get a year later at the end of the year, we find out that they just recognize that nothing has changed in 10 years.
That's because the external is supposed to hold the reins of the internal, and they don't.
But the only reason why I disagree with you, Todd, is because I don't think you're taking into account societal upheaval right now. And this is a different level of societal upheaval. And I think that before these types of movements could just easily be quelled. Like, but I feel like we're in a different place in society. And maybe this is because I feel like my glass is half full on this one. I think yours is just empty on this one, Todd. But I hate to use this word. Thank
Ruthie,
you.
I'm
Thank you,
always
Obama.
drinking.
But I got hope. I have hope.
I know. Oh, Lord.
Come on, we need another word, right? We need another word.
I saw this Frank Sinatra.
Oh, Lord.
No, Frank Sinatra did a special in like 1950 something. I don't remember. And Eleanor Roosevelt was his guest. And they were talking about how things were all kind of screwed up in the world. And he asked her, well, what do you think? And she says, I think there's always hope. That word always pops up.
I know I don't like the word no more either. But I do think that there is some societal upheaval. Like it's all up in the air right now, and it's gonna fall. It's gonna crash down. So when it crashes down, what is that going to look like?
We got that already. That's all. That fighting in the streets.
You think it's over? You know what?
No, I don't think it's over.
I need some of what you drinking, Todd, because maybe I think that
I'm drinking hope, Ruthie.
I think that you are super, I feel like you have a lot of experience, right? Like, I don't know how many presidents have you been able to vote for already in your lifetime? Like, I don't know.
I voted against Reagan, I think. No. Reagan I missed. It was the second time against Reagan.
I think that I guess I'm more like youth centered, and then maybe that's why I always have hope, because I think that there's always hope in young people being able to dismantle and disrupt systems. And so my hope is in like the power of youth voice and the power of young people. And so I think with that's always going to give me hope. Now, if I was like you, Todd, and I was looking at these old geezers around here, I wouldn't have no hope either.
Ruthie, it's just the opposite. I realize the old geezers, they're the only ones who actually do anything. The young people, they run around, make a lot of noise, but they just don't know how to get things done. But they don't want to listen to old geezers. They want to be, rah, it's me.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I disagree. I disagree with you because I think that and I'll just use this word in air quotes, the old geezers have much more to lose than the young people. And so if it's like, hey, if I go out here and make this noise, but now I ain't getting my $100,000 a year, whereas like the young people like, we ain't had nothing. I don't see nobody giving us nothing. So guess what? We about to make a lot of noise. We about to take some stuff.
The young people have figured out a way to make money by making noise, but not getting anything advanced. That's part of our problem. That's just a part, though.
You mean when you say getting anything advanced, what do you mean? Like actually like legislation and laws and things like that?
Yeah, basically anything that other than organizing people to get out in the streets for a second, and then, okay, that's over, and poof, everybody dissipates.
So you don't think protest is an effective means of change? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Todd Stroger?
No, I'm saying organizing protest is effective. The difference between today and back in the civil rights movement is things didn't happen by circumstance. They were planned. Rosa Parks just didn't sit down and not get up because she was like, I'm tired today. It was part of a bigger plan to make something happen, and it worked.
I think we look at the broad pictures, though. I think we see those people that are organizing people in the streets making money as the norm, and I would say that they're the exception to the norm, right? So I don't think that the average brother that's out in the street that's trying to do his thing is probably just trying to participate in something. He ain't necessarily like looking at the profitable aspect of it or the economic outcome. So I think that's kind of, I don't want to say that's a misnomer, but I don't think that represents, I think that's the people we see on TV, and that's the people that we see at the forefront of it who understand how to use that. And I think that those people are smarter than you think, and I think that they do know that they have a planned outcome, right? Like, I think that even when you talk about like some of these, I just don't know if the young people are I don't know. There's a planned outcome for the people. I just don't know if we're participating in the plan, if that makes sense. So like when you talk about those people that are leading people out in the streets, there's a planned outcome because there's an organization that has organized those people and funded them.
Yeah, but I meant something for us, though.
Well, I'm saying that I believe that what I believe, Todd, though, is that those people believe that they are doing something for us. right? I think that they do believe that they're representing us, right? And so I just really think we've got to figure out where we fit, how we're going to move forward in this space. Think about the fact that, again, with all of the people, $65 million. Who is speaking for us right now?
That's a lot of money.
Like, honestly, who's speaking for us?
Yeah. And really, like, truly, like, a lot of this, if white people was just really legitimately willing to share the wealth, like, but it's kind of like we as black people, we really have no choice but to share the wealth if we want to improve the conditions of our people.
What do you get for $65 million? Todd, what does $65 million buy? You think you get to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom?
Man, sleep in the Lincoln bedroom.
You get to sleep with the first lady.
I'm stealing one of those spoons with the seal on it. Man,
I think they give it to you.
No, yeah, for $65 million, you get to the White House at least twice a year, or twice during the.
And
you coming to the Christmas party?
No, Trump, he throwing Melania in there.
But what happened to our government being for the people and by the people? Like, when did this become a money game, a money grab?
From day one?
1789. I think that's when we really formed
Was it 1770?
No, that didn't count.
What all the guns is for?
Oh, what you think all the guns is for? All-purpose Rottweilers by the door. I better feed them gunpowder so they can't develop. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
that was above my head, so.
Are these like
Warning.
these packs that were created? What they call them, super packs or something like that?
Super PACs, man. All I'm saying is that's a lot of money coming out of Illinois. What does Illinois get out of it? Who is our voice in Illinois government, in national government? Like, who will be our voice in the national government?
So I gotta have money in order to get my interests represented.
If you black, you ain't.
Money's not the only. If you do have some kind of organized political thing, and you can.
Who got that in Chicago?
I'm not sure.
Who got that in Chicago? Who is the organized political force in Chicago?
That's a good question. All I can say
for black people
is well, maybe it's Tony Prattwinkle. I don't know.
So Tony Prattwinkle got our keys to the Biden government.
I don't know how the fourth ward will do.
Do we even get a say in government, really? Because we're already a blue state.
I'll have to say with or kind of agree with Mays that being the blue, totally blue state, really sucks.
I mean, it's
nothing ever happens,
and because the only thing you got in the game is cash. The only way for a black person in Illinois to play in politics is to raise money. Now, if you are relying on black money, how you doing it? Who you going to ask for $65 million? Can I just tell you that the fundraiser makes 10%?
Yeah, what a good job, isn't it?
$6.5 million. Y'all can't even imagine that, can y'all?
Not yet.
No, I can imagine that. I mean, I can imagine big money.
In
I
a
ain't got none.
land far, far away. For a black person, can you imagine? The name of black person, again, who is our voice? Who are the black voice? Who is our black voice in national politics?
Obama.
In national?
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you say Obama?
I like Tamika Mallory.
Who is that?
Yeah, I mean,
no, really. Who is that?
Does she our voice? Do we know Tamika in Chicago? I'm saying, who is Illinois' black voice?
I thought you said nationally.
Nationally. Who speaks for black people from Illinois nationally?
I think it's
the Afrostocracy.
Reverend Jesse Jackson is one.
Well, I think he's gotten kind of slower, so I wouldn't.
But
I
I'm just
put
saying,
my
like,
eggs in his basket.
Who speaks for Illinois? I know that's one.
Is it Melody Hobson, whose name seems to pop up an awful lot now?
Ooh, I got one. Chance the Rapper.
He hadn't said anything in a long time.
After the I mean, you see how that worked out for him.
Who else? That's pretty much all I got. Politically?
All right, well, let's do this. Let's take a break.
Oh, the mayor. the mayor is always the
She
big
was
voice.
talking. She started with Donald Trump though. First place she went. Hey y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
A new political party in Illinois? Could it be happening? Tune in on Tuesday for in-depth election coverage. I will be covering the Willie Wilson Party. Tune in to What's in It for the Black People for the blackest, most in-depth election coverage that you gon' find. Coverage starts at 7 p.m.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I will never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduced property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Your voice will be heard.
Your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union.
Change will happen.
And so all men of goodwill will go to the polls on November the 3rd. And I hope we will have a great day in our nation so that when we wake up on the 4th of November, we will know that America has made the right decision.
Mark your calendars for What's in It for the Black People Media special election night coverage. This is the nation's only culturally specific digital platform that respects the Black community's diverse viewpoints. We're here for you. The only place to stay on top of 2020 election night coverage is on the Maze Jackson page on Facebook and Maze Jackson on YouTube. It all starts Tuesday night at 7.
You know who to vote for. I'm just asking you to vote.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for Black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to last, can't doze no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' start. They ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve them.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention, you gotta do more than listen. Make some action with it on the count of 3. Let's go.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger, Miss Ruthie Morris, Sonia Escobar. Check us out on What's in It for the Black People Media. Check us out, WBGX 1570 AM. You can watch us on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, the Maze Jackson page, or the Maze Jackson channel. You can also check us out on TuneIn, Get the app, download it from the App Store or the Google Play Store, Apple or Android. All right.
Yep, I'm looking at the plane. So sunny, guys, right?
We taking the Soul plane over to Washington D.C. right now, cause it is the final countdown. It's the final countdown. Tomorrow is Election Day, and so I want to put some things on the table that we need to be thinking about. I saw yesterday a national poll that said that Joe Biden was up 10 points nationally. However, that's a lot. That's a nice healthy lead nationally, but the lead is much closer in swing states. The battle is within the margin of error in swing states. I honestly, guys, don't know how to call this thing. I don't know how to call it only because, first of all, I recognize that I'm in an information bubble, right? And in the information bubble, I feel like I'm fed all Biden stuff. Then I know I got a group of contrarians that are loud and they come up a lot in my algorithm. So I'm not exactly sure where this thing stands. Now, I talk to people outside of the state, and when I call them, they say, man, there's Trump signs everywhere. Now, I know signs don't vote, but I also recall last time there was a lot of people who were embarrassed to admit that they were for Trump. I almost feel like if you say you're for Trump right now, it is a line of demarcation. Did you see y'all auntie Maxine talking about she will never forgive black voters who support Trump?
Did you spread that? Because I remember seeing that somewhere.
I didn't share it at all.
Oh.
It was just, but it was vocal. I mean, it was a lot of places. Now I think remember, I wish I could find that interview from Maxine Waters. That we did. I used to love Auntie Maxine. I think she got mad at me on air though when we asked about why was she crying about the black kids. The Latino kids at the border, but not concerned about black folks. Ooh. And she what?
That's because Mays at that time must not have realized that her district was more Hispanic than it is black.
I did. No, I did, and that's the whole reason. I think it was important for us to understand while she was so vocal for being our auntie, she was, remember I called her Tia Maxine? I remember I was calling her Tia because she was really looking, and I didn't mean it in the shade, but I recognize that's the challenge for a lot of black elected officials, is that they have these they're not 100% black areas. And so they recognize that at any moment, the Latinos or the white folks in their district could change on them. So they have to cater to them. Right? Not tripping, understand politics, but realize when I was calling the Tia Maxine, people got upset. But I did understand that she represented. Remember, people would call in when we would talk about from California, from her district, and they would say, man, she has not been the most helpful for us as black folks. When you think about now, LA only has a 9% black population. Think about that.
Ooh.
9%. We used to say New York, LA, Chicago. Houston is bigger for black folks than LA.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I was just looking at George Lopez, and, George Lopez hasn't been on for a long time. And then George is I wouldn't say he was making fun, but it doesn't matter. He's saying something that the mayor says, and the mayor pops up. And I'm like, wow, they've had a Hispanic mayor for a long time.
Yep.
And it used to be always black.
So I want to talk about this election locally. Not locally, but what I want to look at. Because I think that this election, we're in the final countdown. And I think if you were to look at this nationally, I think it's really going to come down to a few places. Here's the places that I said that I think this race will come down to.
What say you, political strategists?
Well, no, I'm not. I haven't spent any time. I spent my time checking the world, and I actually spent some time doing politics, so I'm gonna stop being shady right now.
You got a little experience.
I got a little experience.
How dare you?
You know, it's like, this whole political analyst thing is kind of interesting to me now because everybody got to say on politics without ever really practicing politics, right? Like everybody is an expert because they got an opinion, not because they've actually worked it, right? So here's what I got. I think here are the key groups and demographics: seniors, blacks, white women in the suburbs, men or white people, city, suburban, men and women. Because I think white men are voting for Trump.
Yeah.
Period. I think white women, older white women, Trump.
Law and order all day.
Now, I do think that there are liberal white women in the suburbs who will vote Biden. And I think there'll be a tremendous amount of them. The woke white women. Latinos. I think Latinos go Trump. Latino men, significantly.
Even with the even with the Biden first day pledges?
Uh-huh. Huh. I think that the immigration issue is only an issue to people who can't vote. Right? I don't think that the Latino citizens make immigration as important to them as us. I think that the integration of Latinos into the infusion of the party is important for the Democratic growth strategy, which is why they must continue to try to make this an issue, because they recognize that they will ideally get Latinos 2-1.
It's the future.
Right. They tried that last time. Remember they told us, when they asked about how are you doing with black people, and John Podesta got up there and said, we have a new coalition. It is made up of blacks, Asians, and Latinos, so no one group is more important than the other.
Right.
Remember he said that? So, here's what the swing states are that I see are these. Okay, Florida. Trump loses Florida, it's over. Instantly. I don't think Trump loses Florida only because we know that the Florida government, we just saw what happened with the governor's race, right? I would look at that as a precursor. Although there was no COVID, I would say that Floridians who want to keep their state open, like when I see everybody still going, like it's funny to me to see all the people that's talking crazy but go to Florida for vacation. Right? No, I'm serious.
Weather is weather, man. You can't get around weather.
Okay.
Even though it's too humid.
Okay, but it's also, we ain't supposed to be like one of the hottest spots for COVID. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
So Florida, that's the key state. I think we'll see the outcome of Florida while we're right here on air. Don't forget we got an Election Day special. Mays, Sonia, Ruthie, Todd, Toussaint. We got Kristen McQuarrie coming in from the Tribune. We got Mark Brown coming in from the Sun-Times. We got Jonathan Swain from the Board of Elections. We got Joe Walsh making an appearance on the national scale. Look, we got a lot. We got a lot going on.
Are we happening right after the polls close?
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, we go live right here.
And we got food?
Yep, food for 12.
Woohoo!
Shout out to Dawn and Lisa E for hooking up the catering.
Woohoo!
Yeah, Dawn, thank you. I loved your May's costume too.
Hey, me too.
She was
especially the hair.
I don't know what video you're talking about.
Right, thank you. So y'all. Okay, so let me back up. Here's what I got. I got.
What you got?
Then you got Michigan. Let me back up. You got Florida, North Carolina. Trump loses North Carolina, he's got an issue. We'll see those early. Remember, those close an hour before us on Election Day.
That's right.
Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yeah, Killer Kyle.
Both Trump and Biden have spent a tremendous amount of time in Wisconsin. Because their concern is that Wisconsin could be the final determiner. Now, remember,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden needs big black turnout in the big cities.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is counting on the outskirts, the surrounding suburbs.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, that's why you saw Obama spending so much time with Biden in Philadelphia. Let me ask a question. Does Obama still appeal to black men? Can he turn us out? Can he turn black men out? Why did my headphones go? Okay, there you go. Thank you. Why did can Obama still turn out black men?
Todd, black man, he still got that appeal to you?
I'm not
that whip appeal.
I'm not your ordinary bear, so I don't know.
That's right, Todd.
Say
I know
that,
that's
my
right, Todd.
president.
So I feel like, so I think Obama appeals to a certain type of black man that it's interesting. I do think Obama has some appeal. Now, what appeal? I'm unsure. With black men. With black men.
Black professionals, I'd say for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But how many of them are there? As a group. So, that's interesting.
So I was just curious because Obama shooting a 3-pointer. I saw it was viral. People was running around talking about, that's my president. You know who the people were talking about?
You mean like a basketball 3-pointer?
Uh-huh. He hit it. And he said, that's what I do. And what I found was
I've seen this shot. I think he's lying.
No, we saw it on but what I find interesting was the people who were sharing it, talking about that's my president, tended to be the black bourgeois elite. And I think he takes them back to a time when the bourgeois.
They had a nice run in the city.
Right. I think that when I looked at it, I saw the black bourgeois elite looking back longingly to a time. That's my president. And it really was symbolic to me of the fact of what we got. A hoop dream. It's Maze Jackson. You like how I did that?
That was good, Maze.
We'll be back.
So real.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Mark your calendar for What's in It for the Black People Media Election Night Special on Tuesday, November 3rd.
2 old white men. Fighting it out.
A new political party in Illinois? Could it be happening?
We'll be starting at 7 p.m. and we'll be going till midnight. So I'll try not to fall asleep.
What are you going to be doing on Tuesday, November 3rd? Tune in to What's in It for the Black People for the blackest, most in-depth election coverage that you gonna find.
WIFTBPN.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out chicagolegalnetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Are you curious to explore the intellectual currents that channel our thoughts and frame our reality? Have you ever meditated for relaxation and accidentally discovered the universe in the process? These matters and many more you may never have even thought of will be yours to explore as you come with me into Muwakil's world. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
What's up, good people? This is Herb Howard, one half of I Said What I Said. Make sure you tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. right here on What's in It for the Black People Media. It is intellectual thuggery at its finest. The blackest conversation, Herb Howard, Tucson Warner, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on What's in It for the Black People Media, 1 to 3 p.m.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people. 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 For the black people.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Morris, Sonia Escobar. All right, y'all. Swing states. Let's think about Michigan. That's where they had the Gretchen Whitmer plot.
Oh, that's right.
Michigan is also the home of a lot of militiamen.
Mm-hmm.
And it is also the home of Flint.
Can I also say domestic
Detroit.
terrorism?
Mm-hmm. You sure can.
Thank you.
Flint, Detroit. Where else? Dearborn. Lot of Dearborn is the largest Arab American population in the city, in the country.
Ypsilanti.
Ypsilanti.
Yeah, Ypsilanti is like a black suburb, like something like Country Club Hills, I guess, in a way.
Aha. The Blackbirds, the Southland. Speaking of that, what's going on in the Southland? We'll talk about that later.
High property taxes.
Michigan. Do you think Trump wins Michigan?
That's a good one.
It's gonna be a fight.
So, let me ask a question. Today they released Kwame Kilpatrick. The play is to beat the black men down.
He ain't taking no picture with Trump, is he?
He probably will. I would. I'd be taking a picture on the way out. If I was
Wait,
getting
Trump
commuted
is that connected? Yeah, is that connected?
Or is
You
he just
think it
having?
Let me Google this, cause
That's the
Who's
president.
letting them out? It'd be a presidential pardon.
no way. There's no way that
I thought they were letting
this
them
is
out
connected.
because of COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was?
I
Yeah.
hope. Let me look.
They like,
Find
man, you as black as they get. You got high blood pressure and diabetes. You got to go.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just telling you. You got to get approval from somebody. All right. So Trump, Michigan. White people, we got Detroit. Last time, 10,000 black people did not vote in Detroit City, which shifted the whole state. You think the Democrats have done the work to turn out black folks? Now just imagine, will black men be running out? Will black men be running to vote? Where are black men excited to vote?
I don't think y'all gonna be running. Y'all might begrudgingly walk.
We might get a skip. You gotta get that old man skip.
You might begrudgingly walk, but I don't think y'all running.
Okay. So North Kakalaka, North Carolina.
North Carolina, come on and raise up.
Spin around like a helicopter.
You know, there's a lot of black people from New Orleans who went to North Carolina after the hurricane.
North Carolina's got a large. They got. Remember, North Carolina almost. That's where they had the table debate too, the third door debate, the third bathroom. Charlotte. It's also become a haven for LGBT community as well. Right. So you've got a large influx, like their major cities have become. I think Charlotte is like the one where it's become like a southern hangout.
Southern Atlanta? No, wait a minute. Atlanta is the South.
Let me say this. What about Wisconsin? So Wisconsin's got Milwaukee.
I don't go there.
Milwaukee and Madison.
And racing.
Okay, so again, Wisconsin. What about Pennsylvania? I think they're saying Pennsylvania is the key. Now I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Trump is gonna win Pennsylvania.
Really?
And the reason I'm gonna say he's gonna win Pennsylvania is that oil, fracking, and Philadelphia. Philadelphia has the largest population of black Muslims, like in the East Coast, I believe, something to that effect.
Wait, what kind of?
All the Beards Freeway,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
The beard thing, in my estimation, really came out of Philly and all of the Muslims and the brothers rocking the Muslims, whatever. But I tend to think of them not as so much. I almost feel like those are more Trump-ish than Biden-ish, not because of their love for Trump, but because of the prophetic component of it to the crash of the United States.
Interesting.
Right? Now, Salim, you could correct me on that. Now, what I will say, though, here's the thing that I think we aren't taking into account in all of these places. I want to know who is the Secretary of State in all of these places.
Why do you think that makes a difference?
Oh, because they will cheat.
Remember Bush hanging shads? Came down to the Secretary of State.
Florida.
That lady, huh?
You talking about in Florida?
Yep. I think, like, right now, Democrats are running around, scurrying around, thinking they could do something in Georgia. They are, let me just be clear. Have you seen the governor of Georgia?
No.
The governor of Georgia is like, Georgia, he shut down every polling place. He was like, no, the white boy. No,
They're like, we don't really need voting here.
Okay.
Move along.
Move along.
Nothing to see here. But I think
Funny.
Pennsylvania, man.
That's gonna be a determining factor.
Pittsburgh. Is it black people in Pittsburgh, Brother Edward?
In Pittsburgh?
It's got to be. It's a big city.
Yeah, but you know how big cities.
There?
Yeah. Okay. So those are the two big cities. Man, I remember one time going to Pennsylvania and getting caught in between cities. I landed at some airport and they had me staying at some hotel out in the suburbs.
Right. You don't know
and
what
I was
city
like,
you're in.
like, how did we just go from hot to cold like this? Like,
oh, really?
People was coming outside like, you lost?
Yeah.
Right? And then I was just thinking, Pennsylvania is where Mike Dicker comes from.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So think about, so this is going to come down to city versus suburbs. Do you think that they have had the proper get out the vote turnout? I was reading in Florida, they were saying that the Democrats did not invest strongly in turnout for black people. And now they were trying to get it out at the last minute.
Yeah, I do feel like it's like a last minute kind of push.
As always.
I'm just like, dang, when did all this get? Like, it's kind of like it's kind of like they making it seem like that if the Democrats don't win, it's black people's fault.
No, they always do though.
They always do that.
Black
right?
people, and black people do that too. Black people be like, y'all didn't vote. No,
and I don't want to hit on blame it on the Electoral College.
So let me ask a question.
That's a strategy, though.
Well,
So in Philadelphia, are those schools in?
I don't know. We have to check that out.
Because college students, how would they break if they are there, and will they be voting?
But a lot of something that people are kind of talking about a little bit is related to these absentee ballots from a lot of these young people who are in remote school right now. Been some confusion. Like,
can I tell you? I think that one of the most dumb decisions the Democrats made in this thing, and I think it's why you see black people planning to go vote in person, is this mail-in ballot stuff. I feel like this is the easiest way to steal an election ever, right? You like every time I see one of these little bitty stories of somebody saying there were 23 ballots burned up, or there was a fire in one of these boxes,
or delivered to the wrong place,
or any of those, they all become opportunities to get this thing to the Supreme Court. And anything they get to the Supreme Court, we're screwed on. That's what I see. Hey, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Your voice will be heard.
Your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union.
Change will happen.
And so all men of goodwill will go to the polls on November the 3rd. And I hope we will have a great day in our nation so that when we wake up on the 4th of November, we will know that America has made the right decision.
Mark your calendars for What's in It for the Black People Media special election night coverage. This is the nation's only culturally specific digital platform that respects the black community's diverse viewpoints. We're here for you. The only place to stay on top of 2020 election night coverage is on the Mace Jackson page on Facebook and Mace Jackson on YouTube. It all starts Tuesday night at 7.
You know who to vote for. I'm just asking you to vote.
Hey y'all, this is Salim Muwakil from Muwakil's World. In case you missed the last discussion, this is what you missed.
There was a time when there was a large-scale mythology that African people had no endurance. We were only good for sprinting. Right. And that was our forte. Other than that, we were useless in marathon races. Establishing your patrimony on the land. If you bury the dead, that means that this land is forever in your family.
Who are our ancestors, really? We are the living ancestors to a whole genealogical line going back hundreds of thousands, millions of years that we carry within us living today. Everyone who preceded us. Mm-hmm. You know, however, that conception took place, whether it was violently, with rape, or whatever the case, but we are them living today.
That's why it's important to understand our capacity, man. Our capacity is unlimited. We have unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
So make sure you tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. So many politicians are bought by special interests and major corporations instead of the citizens who elected them. I would not be bought. I would finance my own campaign in good faith to the voters of Illinois and promise to serve with integrity at all times. I'm asking for your support as I run for U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Back to the Mace Jackson Show.
listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. Hey, y'all. Issue?
It's almost election day.
Election day. Oh, Lord.
Do y'all think that we should make it like a bigger like holiday or bigger hoopla? Like, should it be like a federally paid day that people get off? Like, do y'all think we can make some improvements to the way that we vote?
I think it should just be a national holiday.
I think it should be
national
Saturday.
holiday.
I think it should be a holiday.
You say a Saturday, Todd?
Yep.
I think Saturday is easy. National holiday means you get a day off.
Mm.
So I would like it to be a national holiday and then stress the importance of it, right? I think on a Saturday people could find more things to do, but I think if you took off the day and then told kids, you know, like from a very early age that like you get this day off, but this is you paying it forward, right? Like that means that like you get off election day because, you know, and every day in class and you tie it back to civics, I think it could be a great. Man.
I like Saturday. The whole family goes.
Huh? Oh, the whole family goes. Okay, I'm not tripping. I think the whole family would go on. If you had a holiday, y'all get up, go have breakfast, make it a whole event, right? And make it some civic responsibility. But I'm not tripping. So I want to tell you something. So shout out to my man, Michael Riley. Big shout out to Mike Riley.
Who's that, Brendan's brother?
Hell to the MF and no.
Whoa.
Shout out to Brendan. Oh, now see what you done got me.
Yeah,
Shout out to my
I
guy, Michael Jerome Riley.
Oh, Jerome, okay.
Mike Riley and I go all the way back to college, and you know he has been pretty supportive of things in the past, and we've worked together. But he kicked off this conversation and said, "Did you all know that Willie Wilson was a Republican?" And it was funny.
He said that on the chat or something?
He said it on his
thread?
Facebook page.
Oh.
And it elicited a tremendous amount of comments. And I don't tend to really be on everybody's page, and I really don't get into a lot of people's stuff. But what I did do in this case was I felt a prick of my conscience. Because as I was reading the comments, I was thinking about my initial thoughts on Willie Wilson and initially how I kind of based my judgment of Willie Wilson. And it really was 100% purely on his dialect, right? Never really having the opportunity to sit down to him, never really having the opportunity to interact with him. And then understanding how smart of a person he actually is. Now, I think that there are people in the world who want to be elected officials and will not stop until they succeed. I think Willie Wilson has the bug, and he thinks he has the ability to finance it, right? J.B. Pritzker had the same bug. Remember, he was rich in the mud. He wanted to be elected so bad. And then even when we heard him talking about, talking to Rod, he was talking about potentially being the treasurer and all of that good stuff. So but then I thought about, I was reading these comments and I could not honestly believe the way that these people were talking about Willie Wilson. Like the post was he was a Republican. Now, first of all, my premise is he didn't ask anybody were they red or blue or anything when he went to help people, ever. Right? He didn't say he's a Democrat or Republican. I have seen Democratic governors wait hours just for him to write them a check. I was there for Pat Quinn. Sing Station had to wait through, fake through, do the whole thing. And I read those comments and I honestly was disgusted at myself. Because I probably, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have joined in on that. But it got me to thinking because I was reading it and I said to some people, like somebody was like, and my man Vince Bass was in there defending all the hard work he had done, like the task force, the fair contracting task force, helping people, masks being given away. Like, some of the people probably wearing Willie Wilson free masks, talking smack. Talking about he was uneducated, called him every name in the book, stupid, just everything. And it really got me to thinking about a quote that I made this morning, which is, we are not better than us. See, we, whatever that we is, tends to think that we are better than us because Willie Wilson is us, right? No matter how many U of I's you went to, no matter how many HBCUs, no matter how many $150,000 a year jobs you got, Willie Wilson is us. You may not vote for him. You may not even, you may feel, but nobody on the thread could articulate anything that Dick Durbin did. Nothing. Not one. No. All the whole stream was F Willie Wilson, country bum, blah 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 blah, and it really made me feel a certain way. Because I was thinking about all these people that very shortly will be taking pictures of their grandparents who have passed away or who they loved or who didn't have all the advantages that you did and made something of themselves, and thought about if when you post your picture of your beloved going away, if we were to say, that country mama who couldn't speak a lick of English who got you to where you are, we done got so big and so educated for ourselves that literally the disrespect was palpable. And I gotta ask myself, what has Willie done to hurt black people? Now, some people said, well, he encouraged people to go to church. Safely, social distancing, as y'all trying to go to the football game now. Some of the same people I see be at parties, be at somewhere else, going out to dinner, going to do, right? We pick and choose which win. We pick and choose when we can denigrate a black person, but nobody articulated anything that Dick Durbin has done. Can somebody call me and articulate Dick Durbin's black outcomes positive? Can somebody literally line up Dick Durbin contribution to black community compared to Willie Wilson? And then you tell me, how could we find such vitriol for someone who has done so much, whether it was politically motivated or not? If I gave away 24 million masks, KN95s that the state was going around the country spending up to $10 a mask for, and he was giving them away for free at your grandmama's nursing home, at your mama's church, your alderman handed you his masks. I really got me to thinking about our Obama class. Our Obama class of black people. No, real talk. Who have outgrown their roots. Our Obama class who have become metrosexual elites that clap for basketball but won't ask a question about where are our outcomes. The same black people clapping are the same people that when it ain't election time are the same people in line for Willie Wilson. Same people talking smack, not passed out nothing to help nobody, delivered no meals, fed nobody, bonded out nobody, paid no tax bills. Right. Black people. Meanwhile, white folks like, hey man, you mad at him for you mad at him for accepting the endorsement of FOP, but the FOP did what they were supposed to do.
Went with their interests.
They went with their self-interest. When there were no masks, he gave them masks. They came back and said, now is our time.
The Illinois Democratic Party
has brainwashed you Negroes.
And if you not just brainwashed, but the Willie Wilsons of the world is the biggest threat to the Illinois Democratic Party. Because if black people start getting on board and align themselves with these law and order Republicans, it's over with.
Check this out. Dick Durbin is spending millions of dollars trying to prevent Willie Wilson from getting 5% of the vote. Because if there's 5% of the vote gotten, there will be the new Willie Wilson party. Now, you may agree with that, you may not agree with that, but the fact of the matter is it changes the power dynamic for them, right? Now, there is a new point of contention. Mm-hmm. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back to wrap this thing up.
The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Are you ready for some authentic, delicious street tacos on the south side of Chicago? Stop by for the launch of Sissy's Taco Bar pop-up at 312 East 75th Street on Thursdays and Fridays, starting November 5th from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Experience their jerk chicken, sriracha shrimp, and blackened salmon tacos. And don't forget to ask about their Rome walking taco, Sissy street corn, and children's meal that comes with a special price. Visit sissytacobar.com for more information.
What's up, good people? Make sure you ascend into Muwakil's world every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Salim Muwakil, a.k.a. the Black Forrest Gump, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I would never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduced property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIFTBPM.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people. What's in it for the black people? What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people.
You are listening to the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore, and Sonia Escobar. I gotta go back because that post from Michael Riley, actually a lot of black folks, interestingly enough, I guess I must have not gone back, really pushed back on the fact that somebody would even make it a Republican issue. Which as I'm reading these comments, it's like people like, so what? And he did, if he did. However, what I do think is really crazy to me is the people that did go in on him really went in on him not over policy or anything substantive, but really about what we all have in our own families. Seriously. Is everybody in your family to speak the King English? How many of y'all got an uncle auntie, a granddaddy, a grandpa that probably ain't according to the books, didn't do it the way that the book said.
Mm-hmm.
But was one of the smartest people and made it and supplied and did it for their family.
That's right, Governor. That's the King's English.
But you dig?
Right. No, you're right.
We really got to get over us. The we's got to stop being the we's to get to us. And it's funny to me that the people that portray the us, tend to be the we's. A lot of people try to be for us, quote unquote, but they really are for them. And I just hope that we can get over ourselves enough to move the ball politically. Look,
I think he's going to get it. His 5%. Is it 5%?
Oh, he's going to get his 5%.
Yeah.
I think Willie Wilson. Well, you know what? Tomorrow we're going to do predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow we're going to do predictions. Y'all got some money?
No.
Huh?
No.
Man, no.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't betting?
Did I stutter, Ruthie? No.
You heard I said no.
I put 5 on it.
Okay, I got 5 on Willie Wilson getting his 5%.
I ain't got 5. I
Sonia
ain't got
always
5 on
spending
that.
money.
That is not what my 5 goes to.
What does your 5 go to?
I got 5 on it.
That'll get you about 1/10 of one. These days, that ain't gonna do you very
I'll
well.
lend you 5, but the interest rate a little high.
All right, now you're talking, Sonia.
All right, y'all. It's been tomorrow is election day. You know what I'm
Are we supposed to dress electoral like?
No, I'm going to.
Oh, you know what that is?
What that is?
That's blue jeans and a t-shirt.
Right. Well, electorally, if you was a precinct captain, tomorrow is a busy day. Tonight, you got to get ready to get up at 4 o'clock. Shout out to all the precinct captains that are left.
Definitely.
Shout out to the precinct captains that are left that are going to be getting up at 4 a.m. tomorrow to come out and open up their polling place. Right. Get ready to accept those black voters. Do y'all think it's gonna be? We're gonna take predictions tomorrow because I really want to know who y'all think is gonna win. Like this presidential race. I don't know, man. I don't know. But we do have an election special. Y'all know. You want to play it? Is that it right there?
No.
Oh, well, why don't you play? Because we got an election special. Tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m., What's in It for the Black People Media will be bringing you the blackest election coverage all night. But we're going to be talking to white people, too. Check it out. We got Kristen McQuarrie from the editor of the Chicago Tribune. We got Mark Brown from the Chicago Sun-Times. We got Jonathan Swain from the Chicago Board of Elections. Plus, we got Joe Walsh calling in. You remember Joe Walsh? We used to do uncomfortable conversations. Nah.
Is he a singer?
Yeah. Plus, we got Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd, plus Tucson and Herb. Even Dawn will be here. So I'm going to tell y'all what. Y'all got to watch out. We might send Dawn to be our correspondent. Get your what button?
Dump button.
What button?
Dump. You know, when somebody says something.
Dawn don't be cursing on that show that much, does she? Well, you know what? This is going to be the liveliest election night coverage you've seen.
Wow. I'm so excited.
I'm excited, too. We're going to take bets. You know, we're going to put everybody's bets up on the walls. We're going to have some graphics. We might even roll some TVs up in here.
This is the blackest election coverage in the country.
I'm country. Sure. You know what, man? Who y'all think gonna win? Do y'all think it's going to be any surprises? And then I'm going to talk about November 4th. Now, check it out. Also, don't forget, Fox 32 we're going to be going all the way till probably midnight. Fox 32 will be coming in. You know what I'm saying? Bringing pillows. So don't be mad if we wearing the same thing. I'm going to switch my tie. Right?
Midnight. I'm going to be going to the bathroom a lot.
And can y'all do me a favor? Check this. Don't come on my stream. Y'all delete Val Change.
Right.
I'm just telling y'all now. Don't come on the stream. Talk about you looking for help. We tired of the fake Facebook begging. Yeah. We trying to keep the station in the network alive.
It was a father at first. Now it's a single
right.
mom now.
Single mom. Get your ass.
I gave you so many resources.
You know what? We give them a list. Let's give them a list. Hey y'all. I'm
election. Everybody get excited.
I'm about ready for this to be over.
I swear.
Y'all. But I
want to tell people, you still have to talk to each other, even if you don't agree.
No, people are
going in on each other.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad it's gonna be over because it's like I can't believe all these black folks fighting over these white people that don't care about neither one of them. I am really tripping on these Trump commercials, though. He is really going in hard. I
really like the Biden commercials. They make me want to stand up and salute and cry and all kind of stuff.
Biden's scary.
I feel like I'm wondering, are those do they strike of desperation?
Ooh.
Is the Republican commercials the strike of desperation, or do they know something that we don't know?
Well, if they know racism, I think we all know that.
Yeah, but why would they be racism? Why would they be playing racism commercials to black people? That's what I'm saying.
Who says they're playing them to us?
Because you obviously haven't seen the commercials that...
You're probably right.
They are. America is fighting for black people right now.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, man, bro.
That's what them commercials say.
Them commercials, straight up, they got straight... You should really go online and look at the commercials. I could not believe the number of commercials that I saw that were pro-black, like Trump black. They had negative and positive.
That just goes to show you how desperate he is at this point.
That's what I'm curious to know, if that's desperation, or is it they know that black men are vulnerable. I just want to say that if you watch City So Real.
You mean they think he can trick them? Here.
Whatever it
Let's
is.
sell them this fake gold chain. That's what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that whatever it is, or fake gold chain, pipe dream, whatever you want to call it, it's like, but I would tell you like this. It's a dang gone shame that that they can even make these inroads. As long as I've been telling y'all that, just think, what do y'all think is gonna happen on the 4th though?
I'm gonna be watching Hulu
after all the smoke clears.
So you think when do you think the fighting starts?
Sunday 3 o'clock.
Depending on what state you're on, it'll start tomorrow.
Depending on what state, what time does it start? And do I need to go shopping?
7:05.
If you ain't already been shopping, you late, my brother.
Oh, I don't think we have to worry in this state. You got to worry about some of those more crazier
Got
states.
me 2 freezers.
Wake up, everybody! The election is happening!
And don't miss the election day special tomorrow night. Hey, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. So for Todd, Stroger, Ruthie, Moore, Sonia, Escobar, I'm asking the question every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.